Welcome acolytes. Today I am reacting to Sweet Baby Ink employees discover Arcane Tirico only hours after his passing. So basically they were assholes to a dead guy. I didn't hear exactly what happened in this case, so I assume because they assume he was racist or something like that. Or he disagreed on any point with them because, well, in these days you're already racist if you just disagree with someone, so yeah, there's that. And yeah, I'm gonna be honest, this is actually something that, if it's true, if Rev, the freaking monster that he is, actually says no, this is what it is, it was what it was, and the thing happened that happened, then yes, I'm gonna actually, well, agree, disagree, say my part, and then just hear Rev out. Let's start.
So today we're going to cover more updates regarding the Sweet Baby Ink situation, but first, for both context behind a portion of today's video as well as for your own personal knowledge, I have some bad news to share with you. Last night it was announced that the legendary creator of Dragon Ball, Akira Toriyama, has passed away at the age of 68. This is obviously very upsetting news for countless people across the world, as his works have connected with so many, including millions of people in the West like myself, whose earliest exposure to anime can be traced back to series like Dragon Ball. While I haven't...
Oh yeah, really? I mean, of course, because why not? This is just disgusting. They were probably way too cowardly to actually say something of that to his face. And now they are like, well, he's dead, so I can say every bad thing that I want about the guy. And it's just disgusting, I'm gonna be honest. This is just... I mean, on the other hand, you don't always have the power to actually say something against someone that's on a higher position than you are. So maybe there is some valid points to be made that maybe after he was dead and he was an asshole, but let's be honest, everyone that disagrees with you is these days, or disagrees with a certain kind of human being, and every normal thinking human being knows who I mean, and the rest, well, guess. But yeah, at the end, it's hard to tell. Yeah, let's just say Rev.
Followed the series or Toriyama's work as closely over the recent years, at least compared to others, anyone can acknowledge the almost inhuman level of contributions he provided to multiple mediums. Having said that, this is the internet. In moments like these, there's always going to be some people ready to sully the name of another person in an attempt for clout or to make some ridiculous hot take, and we saw that happen with who else but an employee of Sweet Baby Ink. The same employee responsible for launching the harassment campaign against the Steam group Sweet Baby Ink Detected and its creator. Well, after unprivating their account...
Oh yes, Sweet Baby Ink was interesting. And yes, of course, I'm gonna be honest, I'm really fascinated that they didn't fire him. That he's still doing the things he's doing. Like, why is he still there? Why? It's just outstanding to me. It's like, if this was my worker, I would be like, shut up, bitch. That's none of your business. Stop it. You're actually ruining the name of everyone that you're working with. And just be still. You're fired. Get the fuck out. I don't care. Oh, your feelings are hurt. I don't care. It's about not you. It's about the freaking life you're destroying and the jobs opportunity you're destroying of other people. Just because your feelings are hurt, I don't give a fuck.
Shortly after they made this tweet, not even 24 hours after the announcement of Toriyama's death, essentially saying that he did a bad job in terms of representation in the series that he created. To hear this from a Sweet Baby Ink employee is both frustrating and also somewhat poetic, because they fail to realize why Toriyama's works were so successful. It's a bit of a meme on social media, but it rings true. The Dragon Ball fanbase is one of the most diverse you will ever see. It's one of the very few things that people of any color or any background can seem to enjoy collectively. And why does that story connect so...
Oh yeah, of course. I mean, I'm gonna be honest, I didn't even know I have to say it. You basically have everything there. Of course, I should have mentioned it actually, because Rev is right on that. It's just, the diversity in Dragon Ball is freaking outstanding. You basically have everything you want. It's not even close, to be honest. There is no property, no matter what you almost cannot show me anything that's actually so diverse as Dragon Ball. And yes, it's really, really extremely diverse. Now that the more I think about it, the more I'm like, the complaint doesn't even make sense. That's just being an asshole. Not even that she's just an asshole.
Well with people. Well, it has nothing to do with the color of the characters, but everything to do with the story and the content of those characters. Toriyama created a story that connected with a global audience. Sweet Baby Inc. and their ilk don't create, rather they twist, pander, and force characters and stories to mold to their agenda. But in the end, unlike the works of Toriyama, they end up connecting with no one. And if you want something to cheer you up, at least momentarily, for a short period, this Sweet Baby Inc. employee was suspended, but about 30 minutes later, they would return to their account, where they would also go private mode and basically go back into hiding, which seems like the smart thing to do since they can't seem to stop making bad tweets. But moving forward, we return to Alyssa. The senior editor at Kotaku recently wrote an article about this Sweet Baby Inc. situation. Now, what have they been up to? Well, one of the things they've done is repost that message from the Sweet Baby Inc. employee going after Toriyama, showing support for that message. And also, as we have continued, yesterday we went over the article that she posted about the Sweet Baby Inc. situation, and one of the big problems is that in the replies to that tweet sharing the article, she said you can't be racist against white people, which drew even more criticism, and a community note basically disproving what she's trying to claim. And what has she done in response to this criticism? Well, she made that quote her banner on Twitter. Yes, very mature person, as you can tell.
Yeah, and by the way, imagine saying the same thing about black people, or any kind of, or why only black people? Why am I thinking this? No, any person who would actually say that, it is racist. It's irrelevant if it's against black, white, blue people, freaking. If you say that, you're racist. It's that simple. Okay, I wanted to hear myself, but I didn't.
Well, as it turns out, that's not the first time that Alyssa has had a very strange Twitter banner. As reported by Grums here, only a few months ago, she falsely accused someone else of being a transphobe, which ended up being her banner on Twitter, a quote saying, Gina Carano responds to Kotaku senior editor that claimed she was a transphobe, and in quotes, the person who posted this is hot, which is supposed to be referring to Alyssa, but as it turns out, that's just a narcissistic edit, because this is the actual quote where it says, the person who posted this is sad. And this is something that Alyssa celebrated on Twitter and routinely falsely accused this person of being a transphobe and tries to take credit for changes made to The Mandalorian because of her work. Very immature stuff, but what has Alyssa also been up to? Well, she's reporting that on International Women's Day, she has received dozens of emails like this and dozens more threats, where of course she's trying to paint the recent criticism that she's facing on the fact that she's a woman, which of course, none of this has to do with the fact that Alyssa is a woman. No one cares that she's a woman. We just care about the racist comments that she has made, and also her absolutely terrible article defending Sweet Baby Inc. and those like them. Well, also a lot of people are criticizing this supposed proof of the threats she's getting because, as you can see, all sort of personal identifying information like the name and time of this email have been conveniently cropped out. And this is something that was pointed out in the replies. This user saying, "Where's the timestamps and sender info? where Alyssa replies, "Oh girl, they're not gonna love you," referring to the fact that this is a black woman making this reply, and Alyssa's essentially saying that you're like a pick-me because you're trying to question her proof of these supposed death threats. Yeah, seems a little bit of an odd thing for the inclusion and diversity oriented person like Alyssa to be saying here, but anyways, we continue. As stated yesterday, Kotaku was the first set of gaming journalists to come out and make a statement on the Sweet Baby Inc. situation, and of course, other gaming journalists saw this as an opportunity to get more Gamergate related clicks, where they would make their articles, including from Eurogamer. And I would go over this article, but I don't think anyone actually cares, and it's pretty evident by this tweet. An account with an immense level of following, and I took this screenshot about 12 hours after it was posted, and it had 32 likes. I just don't think anyone cares about Eurogamer, to be honest with you. But a lot of people were talking about
Okay, yeah, that's actually probably true. But in the end, I mean, a lot of people actually care because they still have money. For some reason, they still didn't freaking lose their jobs for some reason. I honestly don't know why. False reporting and such. And still actually not losing their jobs for some fucking reason. I do not understand. And I'm just... Oh, I always want to say this. If as a butcher I make a sausage and tastes like shit, well, I'm not gonna sell it. And they can do false report stuff and still get the freaking money. Right, good, sorry about that one. To interrupt, let's resume.
PC Gamer and their attempt to smear everyone criticizing Sweet Baby Inc. And I think the whole article can be summed up by this completely disingenuous section right here. It says, "The situation grew in scale as some Sweet Baby employees, frustrated at the idea of a curated list specifically made to avoid games they had worked on, acknowledged the group on social media. While the tweet has been removed, one employee also discovered and shared the group's curator's Twitter account." And of course, they don't mention what was said in that set of tweets, and they don't show it. Well, here's what those tweets were. They were targeted harassment that likely were the reason that this account got in trouble, where they directed their followers to falsely report and harass this.
Yeah, and those are, by the way, the people that actually think they are good people. This is such effing bullshit, you just cannot imagine. Like that, it's really funny to me. I don't even place any worth in being a good human being. I just don't want to harm anyone. And a lot of people say, well, you help a lot of other people, you do this, you do that, and that makes you a good human being. And I'm like, no, I don't believe that. Why? Because I'm just trying not to actually destroy anyone's career or anything else. Just because I got, well, no. Just because my feelings got hurt. It's just irrelevant at the end of the day. Purely irrelevant. Just do not fuck around with other people. Stop it.
Steam group as well as its creator. But when you look at the author of this PC Gamer article, doesn't it all just add up? And you know what? Maybe I'm just being a completely ridiculous person, but like, why do these people point out that like they're pansexual in their Twitter bio? Like, is this a dating website or something? Like, why is this relevant to anything? Why do I need to know this about you? I don't care, and a lot of people don't care, but it's just kind of goofy. Like I said, it's like...
It's simple. Because right now, the thing that actually brings you power, because the left people, the left-wing extremists that are actually there, they don't give a fuck about what's right. They just get that they look good, that they can actually pretend to be a freaking victim of their imaginary thing, and it just is what it is, mate. It's... Wait, what is this then? It's just... F you. The short and nice thing of it is just F you. Stop it. Try to be a normal human being and the good part comes automatically. It's that simple. At least for me it's simple. because I personally don't even give a fuck.
Like, what is this, a dating service or something? It's very strange. But moving forward, that wasn't the only person in the industry who was coming out to defend everyone involved with this situation. We have this individual saying that they are super excited to announce that they are now the lead narrative designer and working on the Black Panther game. Interesting. Very, very interesting. Well, what do they have to say about this situation? Well, they come out and say, side note, you guys do know that community notes can be added by anyone, right? I can add a community note to this post right now saying this screenshot isn't real and it can be seen by literally everyone. No, that's not how the community note functions. You have to get upvotes in order to be actually passed and the note to be made public. Yes, people who apply can make any note, but that doesn't mean it's going to get approved. And in this case, this note got approved, and here we are multiple days later.
Oh, yeah, the notes actually have to get approved. Yeah, the notes actually have to get approved for in that case. So, yeah, actually, the thing is, you agree with that. And now you're actually just pushing out, and just because you got flag, well, in my opinion, definitively not really undeserved. So there's that. But, well, yeah. So eat it up. If you're that freaking prone and you want the drama, and just spill your freaking useless, worthless mind about something, do it. But just count the consequences you get. It is what it is.
Later, and it's still up, despite, I'm sure, many people in this circle here trying to downvote that community note. But it's very telling to see another member of the industry get upset about this note. And going forward, this relates a lot to another game writer, the narrative director on the Wolverine game that is upcoming. We talked about this individual in my previous video because they supported another game designer by the name of Osama. This is a person who, in one of the replies of this game, this narrative writer replied saying, "You can't be racist to whites, period." Where, of course, this game writer, Mary Kenny, would like that tweet. Well, their support has continued. Since then, they have retweeted this absolute stinker from Osama, where it says, "Racism is systematic oppression by definition," with a Merriam-Webster dictionary link right here. "White people are not systematically oppressed. It's not possible to be racist to white people. It is possible to be bigoted towards white people. These two things are not the same." First off, what you're saying is, no, I'm not a racist, I'm just a bigot. Is that what you want to go with? Is that your final answer on this situation? It's so embarrassing. But as people have pointed out, it's like this guy didn't even click on the link that he shared. Because if you go into the first definition, it includes one that would capture white people as well. And if you look at other definitions of racism, even if you plug it into Google, you will get...
Yeah, the thing is, yes, of course, for normal human beings, if you're racist, you're racist. There is no if and buts. But if you're one of the people that actually think highly of themselves for absolutely no reason, never think about it, never do research, never actually do something to prove that you are the person that you think you are, you just assume it. I think you get stuff like that, that you're this effing just freaking full of yourself, that you think you're a good, nice person, that you're always correct, that you're always right, and at the end of the day, you're not. And I'm gonna be honest, it's just that simple. It's really no freaking witchcraft. It's really not. But those people are just so full of themselves. And right now it's those people. After them, there'll be someone else that's full of themselves. And the people that do what they do, and they will do what they do. It's that simple.
Other definitions from Oxford, for example, that clearly include white people as a target of racism. It's just an embarrassing tweet, and it's something that Mary Kenny has shared. And once again, like many of these other people involved, has gone private. And like I pointed out in my previous video, aren't you a bit concerned that the narrative writer or narrative director for Wolverine has such a hatred towards white people, and yet the main character of that game is a white person? Isn't that concerning about the quality of that game? That somehow their beliefs are going to bleed over into their work? It seems like a very likely concern and rational concern to have based on these circumstances. But again, let's just pause.
Yes, it will. It's, in my opinion, it's not even a question, to be honest. It will bleed over, it will make the game worse, especially if you have, like, people like that. Yeah, it's done. The game isn't even out, and I would say not even gonna watch it. Not even gonna give it a chance. It's already dead in my opinion.
So everyone pause for a second, and let's just remember where we are. What is going on? We're getting into a million conversations about racism, the definition of racism, and what can be racism and what isn't. But this all began with Sweet Baby Inc., a curation list right here that now has passed over 200,000 followers on Steam. But this is a group. All it's doing is tracking games publicly listed as clients by Sweet Baby Inc. Not to mention the fact that all these claims that this group is racist, it seems pretty odd and seems like a reach when the creator is a Brazilian man. It's all so ridiculous. And we reported this yesterday that there is a movement going around. There was a big concern that a lot of reports were being made against this Steam group, and some people were concerned that it might get taken down. And this was something that was directly addressed on stream by the creator of the Steam group, Cabrutus, and as you can see, it was a pretty dire situation there for a moment.
I have received a warning on Steam that if I don't take actions on resolving this report, the group could be taken down. So I mean, I have all my moderator staff looking into it right now. What do I need to do? I need to resolve the reports, every single one of them. There are more than 1,000. There are more than 1,000 of them. So yeah, all my moderators are working on them right now. Problem is, Steam is kind of bugging, so there are some reports that they are solving that they cannot delete.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, I'm happy to share with you this message from Cabrutus stating, "It is with great pride that I say, based Valve. Thank you, Valve Software, for respecting your players' freedom of choice." And of course, here's a message from Steam saying, "Hi, no worries. We'll be glad to assist you because we have provided all of the information we have for your issue. I'm closing this help request. If you have an unrelated issue, please..."
Based. I love it. And don't get me wrong, I normally don't like things like that, because freedom of speech and such, but well, if you live by the sword, you die by the sword, in my opinion. And at the end of the day, they live by the sword and they got exactly their medicine. And for me, if you harass and do things like that, well, good. I don't care, because I also ban people that actually harass and I don't ban, I just actually delete the comments, because, well, toxicity has nothing to, and I mean pure toxicity, not just because someone has a different opinion than me. That's something I actually don't, I care about it. Oh, come on. I care about it because I actually want to hear a different opinion, but if it's just pure toxic and it's just aimed at, let's just say, it doesn't make sense, or it's just a waste of time and it's just pure freaking toxicity without any meaning behind it, then I just freaking ban it, because why? Why would I or waste the time of my time or of someone else that actually watches the comments and does what they do? How did I die? What the fuck?
Please open a new help request and we will be happy to help. So it looks like Steam support has come through. Now, I'm not exactly exonerating Valve forever. They have plenty of other things that they need to do better. But in this case, I have to say I'm very delightfully impressed with the way that they handled the situation. And all I can say is good on them for sticking up for gamers. And as Cabrutus says, the player's freedom of choice. We should be informed on what games companies like Sweet Baby Inc. are working on. That is not hurting anyone. It's simply informing a potential customer that they're involved in a game that they might have interest in obtaining. But overall, that's where we're at with the situation.
Yeah. And as always, Rev the legend, the effing legend, he's just... I agree with so much. And at the start, I actually thought, nah, he looks like a effing stupid lolly thingy bob. I won't even see it, but sometimes you just have to go out of your freaking, how's it called? Dev, effed up, blah, blah, blah. Oh, come on. Now, why am I struggling like that? Out of your perfect zone, of your zone of preference, and just hear out someone else and just see what the person has to say and then go from there. But as it is, acolytes, good night.